everybody. Welcome to the Food Explorer podcast. My name is Colleen. I am your host. I am here for a week of, I'm going to call this a wrap-up week. A lot of things have been happening this past week that I thought, let's get on here and just talk about a few of them. And we'll kind of call this we'll call this a wrap-up. It's almost sort of the last 2 weeks of things that have been going on. But first thing I wanted to say, are y'all okay? Is everybody out there okay? I feel like some of us are not okay right now. And there's a lot going on. And I've been in conversation with a lot of people lately. So the first thing I want to talk about is the price of food. I've been kind of working around in the food industry for a very long time. And as I've been talking to people in the last really 2 weeks, I feel like this has kind of been the hardest time realization of, our food's gotten really expensive. I think part of the contributing factor is we just had Blue Monday. So Blue Monday is where it's the saddest day of the year. It's where typically people get their Christmas credit card bill. And they start looking at their credit card bill and what they spent at Christmas, and they start freaking out. And I have to share a funny story with you because I was in the shower, got out of the shower, saw that a phone call had come in while I was in the shower. BC phone number. I live in Alberta, so that's the next province over. And I was like, oh, weird. I don't know anybody in BC. Listen to the message. It was a bit of a terse, angry message from somebody who had done exactly that. She'd gone through her credit card bill, saw a charge on there from my business, and somehow thought that I had gotten her credit card information and I had charged her. I was like, oh, this is going to be an awkward conversation. So I call back. From the time she had left the message to the time that I called back, it wasn't that long. But she had figured out that indeed she did buy chocolate from me. Oh my gosh, Colleen, it's totally, don't worry. I sorted it out. Your chocolate was delicious. Thank you so much. But it was interesting because people really are going through those credit card statements with a fine-tooth comb. We have seen some businesses. There's a business here in the province that I live in that's been quite vocal. The last video I watched, she had $20,000 in returns. So she has a product that is not perishable. And people were like, Christmas season is over. I don't need this product anymore. And we're returning it. So a small business like that, she's like me. She's a one-woman show. Your business cannot sustain that. And consequently, she did end up in the hospital because of the amount of stress that she was under from this. So I understand that people are stressed about money. I get it. We're stressed about money. We're all stressed about money. And then on top of that, going to the grocery store, seeing the prices. So I wanted to offer a couple of tips. And these are some of the things that Jason does. I do not go to the grocery store unless I have to. It is not a happy place for me because there's too many people. Ew. And I find people sometimes at grocery stores just make me really unhappy. So I tend to not go. But some of the things that Jason's been doing is really, really price comparing. And comparing prices for things that sometimes you would not think about. So Shoppers Drug Mart. Okay, so Shoppers Drug Mart is tied in with Superstore, No Frills. Shoppers Drug Mart had the cheese that we buy for our grilled cheese, and Jason, oh my gosh, if any of you ever come to my house one time and you want to see a sight, just watch Jason eat cheese with mustard on it. I mean, yeah. And if you're shaking your head right now going, cheese with mustard on, put that image in your head. This is what he does. I love him very much, but it's just the weirdest thing. I don't know. I can't even comment about how he grew up. That Jason's mom, why does he do this? But anyways, but the cheese that we buy for all of our cheese things, mac and cheese, everything was at Shoppers Drug Mart on sale. He found, we never buy sour cream, but we got these really fun in his Christmas stocking spice packets that you can use for making dips, making salad dressings. And so I thought, well, let's make a chip dip. We got sour cream the other day on sale, and he got it at No Frills. So, do you want to be having to go to 5 or 6 grocery stores to buy your groceries? No, you really don't. Are you like, well, Costco's always going to be the cheapest? No, it's actually not going to be. So if you watched any of my baking series where I went and I set my baking kitchen up again, and it's lovely. I love it. I still haven't baked anything, but I love looking at it. I'll tell you why I haven't baked anything quite yet. But when I did the price checking, so I checked Freshco, Superstore, No Frills, Costco, there was another one that I checked one more store. Anyways, I checked all of them, and Superstore was actually cheaper than Costco. So don't always assume that Costco, because you're getting the big family size whatever, it's going to be cheaper. It might not necessarily. So Jason has been scouring the coupons, going through the flyers, seeing which stores will do price matching. And, he got us 11 kilograms of butter for $4.09, or 11 pounds of butter, sorry, for $4.09 a pound. No, you can't have any of my butter. I'm keeping my butter. But that's a good deal. So finding those deals, finding the 2-for-1s, and also looking for some other things like Bulk Barn. Bulk Barn will have amazing deals. So say you do need some, I don't know, nuts, mixed nuts, peanuts, something like that. I'm just going to take a sip of my coffee here. It's a coffee morning. Sometimes Bulk Barn can have some incredible deals, and they will have things like spend $30, get $5 off. On Sundays, if you did not know this, if you take your own containers to Bulk Barn, you get a discount. It's 15% discount for bringing your own containers. If you are a senior citizen, you get a discount. So there's ways to work the system. And I just really want for, all of us that want to have good food, we've also got to think about the expense of it. Now, here's the other thing. We shop at the farmer's market all the time. One of our favorite vendors at the farmer's market is produce vendor, Lacombe Fresh. They have an amazing deal. So they have packages. So you can get 6 packages for $22. And it's a varied thing each week. So last week we got cherry tomatoes, on the vine tomatoes, not green peppers, red peppers, dill, cucumbers, and we got green leaf lettuce. So the little bulb, the little growing bulb at the bottom with the lettuce on top, we got that. $22 for all 6 of those. And we've got 1 bag of tomatoes left and half a bag of the cucumbers, and everything else has been eaten. That's an amazing deal. So, your local farmer, you got to shop around, and maybe, you're going around the farmer's market and you're looking for the deals. Not that we want, to be going up to farmers and being like, where's my deal? If I buy, I honest to God, when people come up to me and they're like, if I buy 3 chocolate bars, do I get a deal? You get my gratitude and my thanks and my love. That's what you get. I don't know. I don't have a deal for you. Now, you buy 100 of them, I got a deal for you. But, you're just buying 3 chocolate bars, friend, that's not even the amount of chocolate bars my regular customers buy. And it's never my regular customers. My regular customers would never ask that. And so then I can also, for people that are my regular customers, I can do those little things where I have that little bit of extra, and I randomly reinforce. So just a couple of ideas for shopping. Maybe you're stressed about the prices of food. Maybe you're just stressed about the cost of living in general. I get it. Okay. We really try to do things as frugally as possible, but we have those few things like the bread that we buy at the farmer's market. That bread will last us because we savor it. but that's our favorite baker. I'm not going to stop buying from my favorite baker, but if I can save money on cheese, because I don't necessarily have a cheese person that I buy from, or same thing, Jason went to Shoppers Drug Mart. So Shoppers Drug Mart is the name says, so think of it like a Walgreens or a CVS, all of those types of places. A lot of them have food sections now. And so he not only got the cheese there the other day, but eggs were on sale as well. So, you got to do what you got to do. The other thing I want to talk about was why haven't I baked lately? Why haven't I baked? Because I set up my whole kitchen and it was very exciting and everything is there. And I come down every day and I have my coffee and I look at it all and I'm like, look how good everything looks. And I haven't done any baking, but there's one very good reason. So let's get some coffee here. I know you're probably like, oh my God, she's talking so fast. Has she not had 1,000 coffees today? No, it's first thing in the morning. This is my first coffee. And coffee doesn't really do anything except taste delicious. So, but I wrote a book in August. So I was dog sitting, as you know, and I got a book written, and then I did the first edits, and then I just spent the last 2 weeks, so right when I finished the baking videos, I spent the last 2 weeks completely did a second edit of the book, and so now I have to figure out like formatting and publishing and all that kind of stuff. So now I'm like, okay, the book is done, so I kind of do sprints where I like work and like really get a project done, and then I can kind of put it out of my brain for a bit. So now it's just, doing cover design, doing formatting, doing any last edits. I watched a webinar yesterday from a gentleman who was talking about doing the audiobook version for your books. And he had such a good idea. He was like, as the author, even if you're not recording it as the audiobook, read each chapter out loud, because as you read it out loud, you'll be like, oh, nobody would say things like that. That doesn't make sense. So my banter and my conversation in the book is very fun and chatty, kind of like me. But I thought that was such a good idea. So I got my book done. I'm very excited. Start on book 2. It's a series. No, it's not about food. It's contemporary romance. If you're like, what? I contain multitudes. Anyways, I just want to say that. That's why I haven't baked. But I want to show you guys this because my amazing sister-in-law, Kim, hello, Kim, she saw my videos and was looking at my little handwritten kind of ghetto painter's tape labels. So she actually sent me 434 kitchen labels. And so these labels they're fantastic. They are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 labels to a page, 434 labels. But here's the thing. So they're for your kitchen. There's some very, very cool labels in here that I'm really excited about. So there's a label for carob powder. Well, while I was cleaning my stuff out, I found a whole bag of carob powder. There's bags for cacao powder, cake flour, coconut flour. Come on now. I have all these things. So I'm really excited. Flax seeds. Like, this is fantastic. So it's your regular things like rice and all-purpose flour and barley. So all your regular kitchen stuff. But then it has all these other things, malt powder, which I don't have malt powder, but, surprising. I'll probably go buy some. Oatmeal and oats and oat flour. So I'm really, really excited about this list. And then it has some smaller labels at the back for little. So if you have like little jars or little things that you want. So there's these little smaller labels. There's a label for maple sugar. I have maple sugar. I have a lot of maple sugar. So this is really, really exciting. I'm going to go and start labeling all of my stuff. I'm going to enjoy this. So, Kim, thank you very much. This was a very, very thoughtful gift. And yeah, it's just she was watching my baking videos and thought, Colleen needs those labels. Yes, I do need these labels. And there is a master sheet as well. So the labels came from a company called Cluedo. And the master sheet actually has so that you can check off as you're putting labels on stuff. And then you know all of the things that you have. This is fantastic. And it does have blank labels as well. So if there's something that you have that's not in these labels, you can create your own. Plus, pro tip, Kim let me know that you can actually take them on and off of your jar. So when you go to wash that jar, you can take the label off, wash the jar, stick the label back on. So I thought that was fantastic. So I'm going to start labeling some stuff today. I'm going to take my ghetto labels off and I'm going to do these labels instead. Thank you very much. Next thing, I got a new cookbook. So I had borrowed the book Zoe Bakes Cookies. I borrowed it from the library, immediately fell in love with it, and realized I needed it. So I got myself my own copy. Here's what I love about this book. First of all, the cookie recipes are fantastic. These are the cookies that I want to eat. I love cookies that are full of stuff. She has incredible recipes. They are nice. They are simple. And I love her categories. The Vermont Commune. I love that. And so she's got, my home ec cookie evolution. Like just fun titles. Zoe's Cookie Cart, State Fair, and other favorites. So she's got these really awesome categories for cookies. But then she actually has a lot of the science behind cookie and texture and, do you want it chewy, gooey? Do you want it crispy, crunchy? And what do you need to do to that cookie to get that texture that you want? Because for me, like if I'm looking at her cookies and she's got these great graphics in the book. So if you add more butter, if you add different sugar, if you do shortening, like what is it going to do to your cookie? And I really, really love how she does that because I like a cookie that has crunchy edges and nice and little bit gooey middle, but not raw. So now I have to tell you about the cookie that I ate yesterday. My cookie was not cooked. I bought it from a cafe. When I got the cookie, I was like, this is weird. The cookie is sticky on top. So the place that I bought it from, I will not say who it is, they had baked a bunch of cookies and put it into a non-freezer safe container. And they obviously had taken the cookies straight out of the freezer and just put them on the counter to thaw. So they condensated. So I'm saying that word, condensated. I don't care if it's not a real word. There was condensation all over the cookies. So the top of the cookies were sticky, which I don't want. And they pretty much tasted raw. So I feel like before they even put them into the freezer, they hadn't actually cooked them enough. So then I was like, that's it. I'm done with this. Why am I spending $4 plus on a cookie and you didn't even make the cookie right? So oh my goodness, I was so angry. I was really angry about this cookie thing yesterday. Cookie debacle. As we just spoke about, money for buying things and cookies, and having these sort of leisure things. Ugh, friends, if I am spending money on a cookie and it is a terrible cookie, I'm really upset. So I just want to say that really quickly. But this book is going to make me not upset. So Zoe Bakes Cookies. Thank you to Zoe. What's your name? Zoe Francois. You're making me happy. I don't even know which cookie I'm going to pick first, but all of them, I went through this page by page, lovingly turning every single page. I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And every single cookie looked amazing. So I'm going to make some cookies. Speaking of making things, I got to go on a tour the other day, and my tour was to NAIT, so the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology, like 6 minutes from my house. And they have a culinary innovation kitchen, and it was so fun. So this kitchen, basically what they do is, so I'll just tell you about the projects that we saw. So there's a distillery in town, and they wanted to make basically like a Bailey's, but out of plant-based milk. Coffee with my plant-based milk in it. But every time they tried to make it, it would curdle, it would separate, it just didn't work. And so the scientists and the chefs at Nate helped them to create basically a Bailey's type of liqueur that is plant-based. So it was an oat milk, maple brown sugar liqueur. It was like drinking Sunday morning breakfast. It was delicious. I don't drink hardly ever. And I thought, I put this on ice cream. It was really, I put this in a drink? No. Oh, I put it in coffee maybe. Ooh, that might be good. It was fantastic. So the company had a problem. They couldn't solve it. They took it there. And then here's the other component of that is if you create this product, so this liqueur, now we have to scale it. So, the 0.0001% difference between, one ingredient and the next is going to make a difference. So then the culinary kitchen there helps to, how do we scale this? How do we put this into production? What do you need to do? So it's really fascinating. One of the other projects that they're working on, so in Canada, we grow a lot of things like pulses and oats and all these things, and we ship them to other countries. So we're like, here you go, China, pennies on the dollar, take our stuff, and then make something and sell it back to us for more money, because that's what we do. I don't know why. We actually discussed this a little bit the other day, and I said, is it just because, the cost of infrastructure to set up these industrial manufacturing facilities. So if we wanted to make something here, instead of sending it to China to make it to then send it back to us. And that's part of it. Labor force, cost of doing business in Canada is very, very high. So people are like, why would I set up a business in Canada when I can set it up in another country and I can pay less? So this is a challenge. And so the director of the kitchen is going to come onto the podcast because she was fascinating. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to have a conversation with you. So she's going to come on as a guest. I'm very excited. But one of the other things that they worked on was, how do you take something that ends up being a waste product? So their example was starch from oats and pulses and all of these different things, your beans and stuff like that. How do we take that starch that the company buys the pulse, the oats, the chickpeas, whatever it is? They want the protein. They don't want the starch part, but the starch is the majority of that actual item. So what we can do with that starch? Well, could we make, chips? Could we make snacks? What can we make with this? And so it was really, really interesting. And one of the other things that we actually got to try, which was really fun, was they made caramels out of miso from beans, like navy beans that we grow here. The caramel did not taste like beans. Trust me, it was delicious. I had chocolate cake that was made out of beans. It was also delicious. So if you didn't tell me that it was made out of beans, I'd be like, okay, this is a chocolate cake with an interesting flavor to it. But knowing that it was made out of beans, it was quite chocolatey. It was quite decadent. And it was good. I mean, if you wanted a chocolate bean cake. But it's trying to find ways to use these ingredients, because really we're gonna have to stop shipping stuff all the time. We've got to start using it. So that was at Nate, and I'm going to have the director on the podcast. It's very exciting. Last thing that I wanted to tell you is I have a couple new courses that I'm teaching, and they're hospitality courses. And I'm very excited because so we got a new textbook for hospitality today. So this is This is a course that I've taught through two or three times now. And we got a new 9th edition to this course. And the interesting thing is, so this book was written to take into account how our hospitality and tourism industry has really, really changed over the last couple of years. It's become, in some ways, very hands-off, a lot more contactless payments, contactless check-ins. There are lots of hotels where you literally can just go with your phone, check in, you get a digital key that's on your phone. You don't have to talk to a single person. You can just do your thing. I'm not opposed to that. I think that's fantastic. But it's going to be really interesting teaching this course because a lot of the innovation that has come in the last 3-4 years is fascinating from the point of view that we can do this contactless, but how do we still have a good hospitality and tourism and service-based experience? Because how do I convince somebody to come back to my hotel, resort, cabin in the woods if I haven't put a little human touch on there? If I haven't done my due diligence to find out what my guests really like so that they'll want to come back because I've done something special for them. I've created a wow experience. So I'm very excited to kind of get into this. So I've already started sticky noting the crap out of it because I sticky note everything. And I'm also going to be teaching a leadership course. And I'm also going to be teaching a supervisor course. So these are really fascinating courses to teach. I say to the students whenever I'm with them, you can do anything, you can go anywhere, especially for the students that I'm teaching because they got dual citizenship, so they can be in the States or they can be in Canada. And you can take these courses and apply them. So I think the nice thing about these courses is that they're not this pie in the sky, if you ever, they're very practical. And I think, when we look at education nowadays, things need to be practical for people. I just took a webinar course yesterday, like I said, on doing audiobooks. It was great value. Then at the end, he upsells you on his course. It's only this much money if you buy today. I don't need that right now. I don't know that I need it ever, but thank you for offering that to me. I look at the amount of things that I teach myself and that I need to learn. So now I need to learn to edit and format a book. So that's exciting to me because that's a skill that I'll have. And I think with these courses, these hospitality and tourism courses, it's a skill that you will not be upset about learning. This is something you can take with you anywhere when you're dealing with people. So maybe you end up not working in the hotel industry. Maybe you decide your passion is working with the elderly and you really want to go and work in a home care facility. Well, that's hospitality as well. You're creating an environment where the people that live there, this is their home. Maybe you decide, after taking this course, I want to go work in the airline industry, but I want to go and work in the kitchen where they plan the meals for the travelers. Maybe that's what I want to do. So it's there's a lot that you could do with these courses, and I like because they kind of encompass all aspects of hospitality and tourism. So that's coming up. I start in a couple of weeks teaching this, and so I'm fairly excited about that. It's going to be great. I think that's it for today. So it's kind of a mishmash. Buying food right now sucks. It's expensive. Cookie fiasco. I can't deal with any more cookie fiascos anymore. I got these beautiful stickers. I'm going to get some baking done. I finished editing my book. I got a hospitality course coming. I think the only other thing to say is I hope you, wherever you're at in the world, have a great day. Make it awesome. Do something fun. And make sure you subscribe. Tell all your friends. Come and hang out with us here. Food Explorer Podcast. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. And I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks, everyone.